What is one of the dumbest things you've done when your brain was on autopilot? I told my friend, "You're welcome," after he sneezed and excused himself the other day. Let a coffee machine run without a jug under it. Went to take a shower and had to clean up the mess afterwards. Flipped my Kindle over to read the other side of a document. The reverse millennial. Lifted my welding mask up and forgot it was on my head, then went to get a new mask. This reminds me of the multiple times a week I hunt around for my glasses as they sit on the top of my head. I've also spent ages looking for my phone before my kids point out it's in my hand. I need more sleep, clearly. Tore open a sugar packet. Poured it directly into the trash. Tossed the empty paper packet into my coffee. I've done this too many times to count. Making coffee before you had your coffee is a sport. Drove 17 miles past my interstate exit before I snapped back to reality. I drove about the same distance during which my memory is non-existent. But during that time, I successfully turned off at the correct exit, stopped at a toll booth, and took the toll stub from the machine. It proved to me that driving on autopilot existed well before the technology was even invented. Waited at a stop sign for 5 minutes thinking it was a red light. I was not on my phone. I didn't hold anybody else up, luckily. Reminds me of the old saying, drunk drivers are more likely to run a stop sign. Stoned drivers are just gonna wait for the sign to turn green. I shook my phone to see how full the battery was. Not gonna lie, I went, "That's a good idea," and almost tried it. My brother ordered nachos at a Mexican restaurant, grabbed the chip and proceeded to watch himself dip it into his tea. After about 2 dips, he came back into reality, shook his head and went, "What? My mother is an EMT. After a 24-hour shift she came home and tried to unlock the front door with her car keys button and did that for about 5 minutes. I once drove to work when I was supposed to drop my younger brother off at school. Neither of us seemed to notice until we got to my workplace and I had to turn around. He was late. Little bro noticed for sure. He just wanted to skip class. As someone with no natural sense of direction, it is entirely possible he doesn't keep track if he isn't driving. I put my dirty plate in the freezer instead of the dishwasher. Dishes on hard mode. Swiped up on a paper magazine like it was a screen. This is what boomers imagine children do with books these days. What's a computer? TV remote in the fridge. A couple of weeks ago, I was driving home, but instead of going to my current house, I drove to my old house. I haven't lived there in over 5 years. I pulled into the driveway and luckily I realized what I had done before I actually got out of the car. I can just imagine you entering the house while some family, going about their day, looks up at you in absolute confusion. What's for dinner? I was working fast food and taking orders both inside and for the drive-thru. I took someone's order inside at the counter and told him to pull forward to the second window. While on autopilot goes outside and stands at the window. I used the key fob from my car to lock my refrigerator. Yeah, I don't know either. I feel I've pointed my key fob at my front door more times than I'd like to admit. Put a dog biscuit into the washing machine instead of a detergent pod. I realized before turning it on, so I was able to recover it. And fed the Tide Pod to your dog. Don't be sick. Dogs aren't dumb enough to eat Tide Pods. People, on the other hand, continuously jammed my work key into my house door. My work key is a big silver one and my house key is one of those picture ones with a bunny on it. I tried to click my house door open with my car keys on more than one occasion. Thank God I'm not the only one who does this, and my car has range. So it literally takes my lights flashing a couple times before I look around to make sure my neighbors didn't see. Not me, but one time my GF got handed her drink at Starbucks. Said thanks. Went over to the bar to get cream or something and immediately dropped her fresh drink straight into the trash can at the bar. I just looked at her and started laughing. The barista saw what happened and with a "it happens" attitude agreed to replace the drink. It also helped that no one was in there except us, haha. We still bring it up every now and then and all laugh, my GF included. What a nice barista. I slathered my face with hair gel this morning. My condolences. I was a kitchen employee at Arby's when I was 18. We used to have sub rolls that were foot long, but the only subs we sold were 6-inch. So you had to cut each roll in half before you used it. I was just zoned out one day, and I ended up cutting the sub roll in half, putting the knife back in the sub roll bag, and then trying to use the sub roll to cut the next sandwich. My manager saw it and fucking died. Imagine being a customer and seeing your employee trying to cut bread with bread. I used the breads to destroy the breads. I went inside the gas station, paid, then drove off. Twice, didn't even fill up, just drove away. Edit. Change satiation to station before the car satiation jokes become too terrible to bear. I've done the same thing going through the drive-thru a time or two. Pay for my food, get my receipt, drive off, turn around and go back for my food. Had a drink in my hand and dumped it out because I checked the time on my watch. I picked shaving foam can instead of antiperspirant and spray it on my underarm. Took it as a sign from the Almighty and ended up shaving my underarm, monsieur. That's how you listen to the universe. Bless. Put a used fork in the trash can instead of the dishwasher. Edit. It's a dishwasher, not a washing machine. Seems I was still on autopilot when I wrote this. Washing machine, exactly how it sounds. Was holding my phone and ice cream in a cone. Phone rang. Answered, ice cream, monsieur. A sticky ear is surprisingly uncomfortable. Passes ice cream over to person. It's for you. Put the cereal box in the fridge. I may have also thrown a spoon in the garbage once instead of washing it. I had a dislocated knee and kicked a soccer ball that was coming towards me. Did it hurt? It caused my knee to go back in place and then I threw up. Edit asterisk. I just wanna say thanks for my first ever gold and silvers. Also, I don't know if it is funnier, but to add context, I'm a 5'3" girl who is extremely uncoordinated. And my first thought was, OMG, I actually hit it. And then I threw up. Went to the gym. Walked right past the desk where you check in and get a locker key. Walked into the locker room. Stood in front of a locker and was absolutely puzzled about what to do next. I can hear a buzz sound, like you get in a video game. Then a screen pops up, missing locker key. In an adventure game it'd be more like, it's locked. What do I do now? I poured soda into a bowl, cocoa. I pet my laptop thinking it was my dog. I pet my friend's brother-in-law while we are watching a movie and he was sitting on the floor. We had just met about 3 hours prior. Edit. Thank you for the goal. It made my embarrassment worth it. He's just sitting there thinking, nice. Unexpected, but nice, and lets you continue. Walked naked in my son's bedroom, monsieur. I was stepping out of the shower, and his bedroom used to be mine in my childhood. I've gotten in my car on the weekends to go somewhere and gone on autopilot and realize it as I'm pulling into my work's parking lot. I'm like, why the fuck did I drive to work? I've had similar experiences. I had 3 jobs for a while, and occasionally I'd get dressed for the right job, then drive straight to the wrong one and not realize it until I'm at the door. Or answering the phone at Jobber with Jobby's greeting. Imagine calling a Pizza Hut and getting the suicidal hotline greeting. I was trying to make some scrambled eggs. Basic prep. Crack the eggs, put the eggs in a bowl, toss the shell. My dumb ass cracked the egg, put egg in the trash. I literally stood above the trash can with the shell in my hands processing what had just happened. For about 30 seconds. I just had the faint feeling of, I fucked up, and was wondering exactly how for way too long. I was folding my freshly laundered bed linens while simultaneously putzing around the house. I don't know what to tell you, but somehow, I was folding a pillowcase. Then the next moment, I couldn't find it in anywhere. and I looked everywhere. My very tiny home. It wasn't in the folded pile. It wasn't in the closet. It wasn't in the bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen where I puttered around while folding said laundry. It still haunts me, and I'm going to find that effing pillowcase even if it kills me. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up. OMG. I am now even more determined to look for that pillowcase. I am at my mother's house for the weekend, but will update this when I get back home. It's definitely not in my hand, my other hand, trash or fridge. My main suspects are the closet or within the fitted sheets, meaning I have to refold them. What's funnier is there are 2 pillowcases of the same design, and it's making me even crazier, thinking I imagined the other one. I was also searching for it, holding the other one like it was a missing cat poster. Lol. Also, I am not German, just learning the language. I used to have a cat, but now I currently don't. Did you check the trash? If it ended up in the trash, you'll never find it. This is one of my biggest rules. If you can't find it, check the garbage can before it's too late. Edit. Damn, y'all either lost or almost lost so much more important stuff. I created this rule because I accidentally threw away a bunch of weed.